We're go. Happy Thursday, y'all. I am Katie. If you are brand new to this channel and you're just now joining us, hi, my name is Katie, and this channel is a channel that is all centered around creativity, high performance, being able to live your life in a way that is relaxed. You're really slowing down to speed up. And today we're talking about being creative, this idea that like when we're at our most creative high or our best creative health, that somehow that means we're going to be creative all of the time. Oh my goodness, let's talk about it. And what's so beautiful, y'all, is like I've gotten to practice this in real time in the last 24 hours because I have been just like having the time of my life in the last 2 weeks in my business, in my life. And then yesterday came, and really I got to just listen and pause and be like, "Ooh, got it. I definitely get to pause. I definitely get to slow down, and definitely get to have a break in my own creativity." So, we're going to talk about this. How this is absolutely normal, absolutely healthy, and also how you can actually intentionally set your day up so that you're having those breaks. If you are brand new and you have never seen me before, I would love for you to subscribe to this channel. If this is your first time, definitely subscribe. If you like the content that you see on this video, definitely consider liking and subscribing and sharing. That definitely encourages me and also just tells me that you are here and that you enjoy the content and informs me as I'm looking on the back end analytics, knowing that these are real people that are a part of these analytics, understanding what you guys really like and what you guys are not so much liking, is really supportive to me so that I can bring conversations, topics, and trainings to you that really support you. Okay, so I'm going to start this by telling you about my day yesterday and how this is just so funny. It all rolled into each other so beautifully. I had a live with a good friend of mine, Cass, and we were doing an Instagram live. It was a blast. We're talking about creativity, how to really steward your own creativity, how to protect your creativity, and how to have consistent, sustainable amounts of creativity. And it was so beautiful because I really had no idea what we were going to talk about. Neither one of us did. We're like, hey, we're both chatty Cathys. We're just going to jump in. We don't need it. And then we started talking about all of these things. And what was so beautiful is as I ended yesterday, I was like, I am tired. My brain is tired. My body is tired. And I think I just need to take a break. And what's true for many entrepreneurs is that we can be very hot and cold in our own business. We'll be like, yes, this is the best thing ever. And then we'll be like, and now I'm uninspired. And this can be true of our businesses, our projects, our relationships, our hobbies, anything that we're up to. And so a lot of times that happens is because we aren't necessarily stewarding our own creativity, stewarding our energy, being able to build our lifestyles in a sustainable way. And so then we have these high highs and then these low lows where we're ups and downs and crashing and rising and crashing and rising and crashing instead of having that sustainable. Yes, we can have those ups, but it's more like a wave rolling. It's like the undercurrent just sort of woo, versus like ha, wah. And I have been this way many a time in the last several years of running a business. Yep, been there. So let me know in the stream on the comments if you're watching this live, if you're watching this after the fact. Let me know if you feel the same, if you've been there, done that. I think it's a lesson. It's a lesson for all of us. I am so grateful that I'm 25 years old and I am learning these things now. I'm learning the things to be able to live my life, run a business, be able to create consistently without burning out or getting overly frustrated to the point of I'm done, I quit. And I'm grateful that I've experienced that enough to understand what it is, what it feels like, what it looks like, and why it happens. So today we're going to dive into being this idea of being creative all the time, where it comes from, what it creates for us, and then also the opposite, which is what we're really going to be long term leaning into, which is, hi, girl, girlfriend, You do not need to be creative all the time. In fact, a healthy, creative human being is going to have time away from their creativity. Going to have time to focus their direction of their creativity in different ways, and also the amount of creativity they're choosing to show up with, adjusting, throttling, being really present to what is your body actually asking of you, what is your brain asking of you, and where do you get to be in this moment. So I get really, really inspired about these topics, especially topics around how to steward your creativity, how to be a healthy, well human being. I used to be the person who had chronic pain, insomnia, um, high highs, low lows, and I know what that feels like, and not being sure when I'm gonna wake up the next morning if I'm gonna be excited to be alive and awake and all the things, or if I'm gonna be exhausted, frustrated, and discouraged. And so learning how to be a lot more thoughtful about how I start my day, how I end my day, and how I act and choose and create during the day has been really, really a big shift. And I'm so grateful that I've learned these things. And so that's why I want to share these things with you. I think that often the idea that we need to be creative all the time, especially as business owners, I have a heart for business owners because y'all are like world changers, game changers. You want to be in this service oriented world and want to create something from your heart to the client's heart, right? But then sometimes we get into these zones where we're creating from a place of lack, or we're creating from a place of I need something and therefore I'm going to guard and put boundaries and protect and like put these walls up of what I'm not going to give. And then we just come into the space of like really just longing for people to see the value that we're producing, and therefore making everything about the businesses that we're building and the projects that we're creating and our designs and our heart in all of it personal. We make it we make the lack of response from people, or the lack of buy this product, or the lack of interaction that people have with our creative projects, with our businesses, with with like the heart and soul of what we're building. We make that mean that they don't care, or that it doesn't really matter, or we don't have anything that's really worth giving that other people would actually choose to receive. And that's not true at all, but it is a sign that something is going on inside of you, that you may get to ask yourself, okay, why do I want to create this thing? And that's where we're going to spend our time today. A lot of times we believe we need to create all the time. We're always in that doing mode of like, I'm going to create, I'm going to do this, I'm going to try this, I'm going to make this happen, boom, 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 boom. And then we get exhausted and burned out and feel frustrated with our own bodies or our own lack, right? Our own limitation, instead of actually listening and being like, am I giving from a place of actually making it about them? Or am I giving from a place that's really about me? That's about the results I want to get. That's about my reputation. That's about being the person who's giving, right? Giving something to someone is not the same thing as being a person who gives things to people. One is about you and your identity, and how the external results around you are like informing your identity. And the other one is about I'm giving. Like this person is their life is changing because I'm choosing to give, I'm choosing to contribute, I'm choosing to actually be and do the things that I can to give a gift that is actually exciting and will change that person's life. And this is a lot of what Cass and I talked about in our live yesterday. So if you want to go um, join my Instagram space and go see my stories and the different places that we have been in and all of the things over there, you definitely can go take a peek. I believe I put the link down in the description of this video, so you can go check out my Instagram. But one of the things we talked about in particular is like when we're just like throwing spaghetti at the wall, and then we're creating those offers and gives and not actually bringing our audience and our potential clients and the people who are watching and interacting with us, when we're throwing stuff at them, it's like throwing spaghetti at our audience. You're not just throwing it at the wall, you're actually throwing it at your audience. When you're like, "Ooh, I have this creative idea. I have to go do it right now." That kicks us into that gear of like, we're always needing to create. We're never actually happy with our life because we're always needing to create. We're always needing to do the next thing or push the next thing out. And then it becomes about, well, this isn't working and this isn't working and I'm frustrated and I'm angry and maybe I'm not cut out for this. And the truth is, like, if you're going to choose to constantly come from this place of, I need to get something, this result needs to happen the way I think it needs to happen, then maybe you aren't. Maybe you aren't cut out for being in a client service oriented world. And it doesn't mean that you can't shift. Doesn't mean that it just means that in that mentality, in that attitude, the things that you're creating are for you. They're not actually for your audience, for your client. And so this is a moment to actually dig deeper and understand, why are we creating? Why do we feel this need to always be showing up and be the first one in the room speaking and be the first one in the room doing the thing and be the first one offering the thing and be throwing our audience right and left and right and left because we need to make the sale or the offer or whatever. And so then it's just about taking a breath and being like, wait a minute, am I actually getting really excited about serving and giving to others? Or am I so self obsessed and self consumed or self loathing? Because all of those things roll into the next. I was writing this morning. I spent a lot of time this morning just reflecting and getting out of doing in my business. And some of the things that I wrote down is like, being self-consumed is like sucking the life out of every room. And self-loathing looks like, I'm not that pretty. I hate myself. I can't ever do it. Or self-obsessed looks like, I'm so great. I never need accountability. I don't need to learn or grow or embrace humility. One is closed down and shut down to anybody around them changing their mind, and the other is shut down and closed around anybody changing their mind. Neither one of the self obsessed or self loathing kind of attitudes and come froms are actually willing and open to learn and be the student in the room. When we're in our creativity, what I've learned so much over the last several years is like, truly, when I am in like the purest form of my creativity, it always brings other thoughts and perspectives and hearts into the room with me. The times that I have enjoyed the process the most are the times when I have brought other voices, hearts, souls, thoughts into the room. Not from a place of those are automatically going to influence what I'm saying, but like art, creativity, being creative is a relational activity. It is a relational headspace. It is a relational heart space. Being creative is not just about you over here in the corner. To be creative, it requires you to be inspired. And if you're inspired by something outside of you, whatever you're experiencing, it has been created by someone else. I did this video forever ago about how nothing is original. Like, every time we have that spark of inspiration, it's because we've heard, seen, read, felt something else that someone else has designed or created. When we look at nature, we see beautiful, incredible landscapes that God has created, right? We are always looking at the next thing, and that inspires our own authentic, genuine, like, form of that creativity. It sparks something new in our mind and our heart, but it's based on someone else. So creativity is about relationships. If you want to be more creative in your business in a way that is actually sustainable and doesn't burn you out or drift into lack of clarity or frustrate the daylights out of you and the people you love, if you're up all hours of the night because that's when you can be creative, it's like, wow, wait a minute, hold up. Can I actually be in a relationship with my own creativity in a sustainable, grounded, beautiful way that brings people into my life versus isolating myself. I remember when I was in art school, I was at a community college and I was at the art center and took a couple semesters of classes there. And I am such a people person, y'all. Like, I love to get to know people. I love to understand who people are. I love to, create relationships and just like interact with people. I'm a people person. And all of my fellow students and teammates and peers were very, very in like very isolating tendencies and characteristics. Like they would go off in the corners, put their headphones on. Like the minute they would get out of class, they put their headphones on. They didn't want to talk to anybody. They didn't want to interact. And so it was very, very difficult and frustrating because I was like, I want to get to know these people, but they're not in a place where they want to get to know me. And this has become like a stereotype of artists in particular that they're like introverted. They don't like people. They're over there in their own little corner creating their art. But truly, I think this is a stereotype that doesn't actually get to be real. It's a tendency of like we don't want to be in a relationship because we have all of these stories about what it's like to be in a relationship. But when we're actually creative, whatever that means for you, right? It's not even just about like, oh, I'm an artist or I'm not an artist. But if you want to be more creative in your business, get more people into your space. Get more people into conversation with you. Get more business peers into your life. Get into rooms where you can have case studies and you can understand people and you can understand what they need and want. And like that's where when you are coming from that place around creating, oh my goodness, y'all, then it doesn't require 24 hours of pushing, shoving, and making stuff happen and building this and creating this offer. You actually then can come from this place of, I have exact clarity on what I get to create because I have been in relationship with all of these people. I've asked them questions. I've understood where their come from is. I've understood where their struggles are. I've understood where they want to go. And from that place, what I'm creating is not just something that was designed from relationships, but it is something that is designed into relationships. And I always think about this as a beautiful thing because I believe that God created the world. And so it's so cool because I know that God created me. And so God literally created human beings who create. He created a beautiful image of himself. And so when I think about art and creativity and being creative, I think about the fact that like that's like interrelational creativity. It's like I'm a reflection of my creator as I'm in relationship with other people creating. Like so cool, y'all. And so it's about pausing and taking that minute to ask yourself the underlying whys. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why does this matter to me? Why do I feel this need to just like jump in and create, but not actually give myself that space and that opportunity to let that creativity simmer, to ask the questions, to be in the exploration, to ask other people, well, what do you think? And what are your insights on this? And what do you notice, right? I have been surveying my audience for the last 8 days, y'all. I have a workshop that's coming up. I haven't told anybody about the dates. I have been surveying this entire week. No one knows what it is that I'm doing. And yet I'm asking questions. I want to be in relationship with people. I want to understand. Even these lives, you are a part of me understanding what y'all are like, what matters to you, what is important to you, where you're struggling, where you're learning, where you're growing. And so really like this is like a generosity revolution, y'all. Like we can actually be in our own unique creativity and actually build this generosity revolution because we're not the come from isn't from this place of I'm afraid that people won't like me or I need people to like me or I need this thing to feel good about myself. But like it's genuine generosity. I'm actually the come from is I love you. I want to be in a relationship with you. I desire to understand you. And so I am creating from that place. And can you imagine like businesses all over the world coming from a place of I actually want to be of service instead of like this mentality that like we somehow as entrepreneurs are entitled to results or entitled to a certain amount of income or entitled to something. Like, how fun to actually be in business from a place of relationships, from a place of service, from a place of genuine generosity. And what a revolution we could create in the world when our come from is from this place, when we're embracing being the student in the room, when we're embracing being in humility and being in curiosity and asking those questions and knowing that we don't know everything and being a student of our own work, being a student of our businesses, being a student of the people, the clientele that we're bringing in, the audiences that we have that are wanting to know and understand what it is that is working and not working in their life, like to get to be a cornerstone of whatever it is that they're figuring out, whatever it is that they're working towards. So this is what gets me up in the morning. I love this stuff. And so I hope that this like there's like a million and one things that we could do around like being creative all the time, our tendencies around trying to push and pull and like make stuff happen. There's a million and one things that we could go on for days. And yet, I want to just instill this spark in you around really asking yourself if you're trying to create all of the time and you're not giving yourselves those breaks, you're not giving yourselves those pauses, right? I got to give myself that yesterday. I was tired mentally, physically, emotionally. So I got to take a big long break. I have this is you guys, this is the first content that I am creating for the day. Um, and it's just that reminder, y'all. It's that reminder to pause and to be in curiosity around your why. Why is this matter? Why does this matter to me? Why is this important to me? Why am I creating? And is it because I want to be in a relationship with others and I want to be of service? And I enjoy that so much so that I would create something that is from my heart to yours? Or is it because I need something from you to feel good, to feel validated, to feel whole in some way? Ask yourself those questions. They're hard questions, but they're worth the time to lean in and ask. If this evoked something out of you, if this inspired you in some way, I would love to know. You can comment on this video. You can also go in the description, find my Instagram handle, and come start a conversation with me over there. I love to hear from each of you wherever you're coming from. And I have so many gives and things that I can support you with around whatever it is that you're struggling with or wherever it is that you want to go. And I am excited to see you on the next video. Bye.